Have you ever noticed how often certain numbers seem to follow you? You glance at the clock. 11:11. You think about someone. They text you. You hear the same phrase twice in one day from two different people. It feels like a sign, like the universe is whispering something. But what if it isn't? The human brain is a pattern detection machine. It evolved that way for survival. Our ancestors survived not because they were stronger, but because they noticed patterns. Movement in tall grass might mean a predator. Dark clouds gathering might mean a storm. Seeing patterns quickly kept us alive. So, our brains became exceptionally good at connecting dots, even when the dots weren't meant to connect. There's a word for this. Pareidolia. The tendency to see faces in clouds, animals in rock formations, figures in shadows. Your brain prefers a false positive over a missed threat. It would rather see something that isn't there than miss something that is. So it fills in the gaps, constantly. Randomness is uncomfortable. It suggests there is no pattern, no narrative, no hidden design. So when life feels chaotic, when events don't make sense, the mind begins searching, connecting, interpreting, because meaning feels safer than randomness. Pattern recognition is also the foundation of science. We discovered gravity because someone noticed objects fall consistently. We discovered disease transmission because someone saw repeated outcomes. The same ability that creates superstition also creates discovery. It's not the pattern itself that determines truth. It's the testing that follows. We don't just see patterns in the sky. We see them in people. She didn't reply quickly. He sounded different. This always happens to me. A few experiences become a story. A story becomes a belief. And before we realize it, we are no longer seeing events. We're seeing confirmation. Once a pattern feels real, we don't just notice it. We start living inside it. If you believe this is just how my life goes, you stop noticing the moments that don't fit the pattern. If you believe, I already know how this ends, you stop looking for a different outcome. The mind quietly gathers proof for the story it has already chosen, not because it wants to deceive you, but because consistency feels safer than uncertainty. And once a narrative forms, it becomes very hard to see outside of it. There's comfort in believing everything happens for a reason. There's comfort in thinking coincidence is guidance, because randomness feels unstable. But sometimes, events are simply events. Noise in a vast system of probability. The discipline is not to stop seeing patterns. That would be impossible. The discipline is to question them gently. To ask, is this signal or is this noise? Am I observing reality or completing it? Your mind is powerful. It protects you, guides you, helps you learn. But it also fills in blanks with stories that feel true. Sometimes the bravest thing is not to assign meaning, not to assume design, but to sit with uncertainty. We see meaning in randomness because we are wired to connect, and that wiring has kept us alive. But awareness changes everything. Once you know your mind searches for patterns, you can decide which ones to trust and which ones to let pass quietly.